meeting to order. Which I had everybody have to do. Any corrections, additions?
Not that I saw, but as you showed them. Motion to approve.
Moved by Dara, second by David, all in favor? Swearing in of re-elected council members.
So I will say this, I put this out on the clerk's link about doing these at a council meeting if that was required, and it's not. Some places do ceremony, especially for newly elected ones. Other places just have them come in and do their oath. So we've always done it this way, but the two that are like Kale and Larry are just going to come into my office and sign their oaths. But Dara, I will have you read your oath here and then sign it.
I, Derek Carmichael, do solemnly swear, or I do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Kansas, and faithfully discharge the duties of council member for the city of Virginia. So help me God, and this I do, and the penalties of perjury. I have a thing on my glasses here. I need new glasses. Okay.
Another one?
Yeah. That's quite went fast. We'll see.
Okay. Consent agenda, we need permission for clerk to pay insurance at time of billing, permission to pay utilities at time of billing, permission to pay utility lieutenants on the 25th of the month, permission for clerk to pay theater bills when due, and permission to pay payment service network bills when due. Moved by Dara.
Second.
Second by Dave. All in favor? Mayor appointments.
There are no changes. I'm sorry, there are small changes. Most of the committees and everything is the same. There were a couple of changes in the Housing Authority over last year. Amanda, there are forms there that have to be signed for the Housing Authority members that you will need to sign. The Theater Board is short one member, so if anybody has any ideas, Robert would appreciate letting him know who might want to serve on the Theater Board. Everything else mostly is unchanged from last year. So, did you all have a chance to look at the list to see what you're what you're appointed to?
Well, I know what I'm appointed to.
Didn't change it.
Yeah, nothing's changed. Except for, like I said, the Housing Authority.
And we have one off the Washington Street.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Can't think of his name. Dustin Confer. Yeah. And he...
Is there a motion to approve those? Moved by Dara. Second by Dave. All in favor? Motion carries. All right, so budgeted allocations. We have CCDC for $26,816, Senior Center for $8,800, Options Domestic Violence for $1,500, and Western Kansas Child Advocacy Center for $1,500. So we just need a motion to approve to pay those.
Yes.
Is there a motion to
So,
move by David? Second by Dara, all in favor? Nathan, you're up.
alrighty. I got a handout here for each of you.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
So, basically what I've got on here on the front of this even, this is probably the numbers that are most interesting. So, the city dispersed to the library $43,958.85 this year. We've also got $5,300 in grants on there, a few other various things. What's positive this year is what we were really trying to do was kind of get back to normalcy after COVID. Now, we did have kind of an issue with that towards the end of this year. You guys probably know about that too. It worked out, luckily enough, where basically if one staff member was quarantined, it worked out where we didn't have to shut down at all this year, which is nice. Other things kind of really worth noting is basically it was in May, we found out at the library that 2 of our air conditioners were no longer working out of 3. Went down and talked to Ed Marin at Heartland. I just want to note that was a huge thing for us, basically how quickly that was resolved with JR and that sort of thing. That was, nobody foresees that sort of thing. Meanwhile, it just it got kind of dealt with very quickly and kind of helped us out, especially with our summer reading program and all that sort of thing. We also got a new copy machine in January. We've basically had it for a year now. That's worth noting. We've gotten some displays in there, kind of done a little bit more with that. We usually have a Fun on the Farm, which is a preschool reading program with Penny. We had that going again last year, kind of at the normal time that we do that, and hopefully we're going to have that again this year. And then our summer reading program with Amy Bussey, we usually kind of put all the sessions of that in 1 month, and we'll have some kids, if they want to do the reading portion of it and that sort of thing, we'll kind of come in July and August too. We have a 3D printer now at the library, which is available to the public, and we actually did, we had somebody come in and print something out today, so that's, it's kind of a big toy maker. Like what I've seen so far, yeah, people can find their own designs and that sort of thing on there. What I've had more luck with is, hey, this is printed out already, I'd like one of those too, yeah, here you go, that sort of thing. It's kind of just, at this point, really a big toy printer for kids. Air conditioners. I'll tell you what, and then, okay, so on this too, what we've also got here, we've got basically kind of how we did this year. This sheet is basically our activities with the highlighting on it. This is basically just things that have been checked out from us, things that we've checked out from other libraries, people coming through the door, computer usage. This is also basically kind of in the middle of it, the total city disbursement. That's probably the most notable thing to look at. I've also got a list here of basically our board members currently, if any of you are interested in looking at that at all. And I'll tell you what, yeah, I think that was it that I had. Do you have any questions or anything like that?
No?
And just a reminder on the library board, the mayor appoints those in April.
April?
Yes. I have a question on that 3D printer. Is there a cost to use the printer?
There is not currently. Basically, there's a website called Thingiverse. That's kind of a depository where those plans are. The short answer is we do not have a fee for that at all currently. They may change that at some point. But the easiest answer is to not actually charge people for that, because the gray area there is if you were to charge people for that, what you'd want to do is say, well, we're charging you for the filament, for the plastic, because basically you're probably going to be printing out something that is basically intellectual copyright of somebody else. Now, if you start charging for that, that gets to be a whole different thing. Meanwhile, if you just give it away as a gift, it's no big deal. So that's the real reason why you don't really want to charge for that, actually. It's just easier not to. But, yeah.
Are you here through the end of the month?
So they've got a person who is accepted. It is Sharon Olison's niece. So it's approximately going to be the end of the month. We'll just have to see. But 25th is kind of a date in there, but it's nothing that's set in stone yet.
That's when you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Don't understand why it's kind of difficult to charge. My question, is that a big expense to you guys to maintain that?
No, so we got a grant for the printer itself, and also included with that grant, we got a bunch of filament. We have not used all our filament yet. We've also basically got a cost-sharing deal with NWKLS. So the filament would also be basically half paid for on that. We just go through them to get more filament. That's going to basically approximately for a roll of the filament with the cost sharing for us, our cost, it's approximately $20.
Okay.
And that's basically 2 pounds of that's going to be on a spool at a time. We went through, since we've kind of had it, I think we went through about 3 rolls of the filament, but we've probably still got 5 to 7, I think, left even still.
Anything else for Nathan? Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for your report.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for everything the library does. Well, thanks for everything you do for the library, because we could not do it without you, obviously. It's a good thing that helps the community, and it's kind of nice to see that.
Well, thank you guys, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck going forward.
Yep. Well, thank you very much.
Yep.
And, yeah, you guys know where to find me.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Small business utility incentive for Francis Todd.
Gavin and Bailey Cooper have purchased the business. It's out on the share there. They indicate on here that there will be 6 employees working at least 35 hours a week. And that, based on our utility incentive program, it allows them to ask for up to $1,800 in incentives. So it's up to $100 a month for 18 months towards their utilities. And if you approve it, Amanda, there's a place for you to sign at the bottom of this.
Your motion to approve the utility incentive, moved by David, second by Derek, all in favor?
Sure.
RV Park license application.
This is, hold on here a moment. Homesteader Motel and RV Park. It's a renewal. She has four sites out there. Kathy Woodcox. Just a renewal.
I hear a motion to approve the RV park license.
I'm going to go first this time.
Oh, moved by Derek, second by David, all in favor? Anything I need to sign on that?
Pull that back out. I don't think so. I think that's just, no, it's just.
Peddler's license for the Girl Scout Troop 10124 and Troop 10155.
And they are asking for waiver of the fees. Also, we typically waive the background checks for the Girl Scouts. Obviously, the Girl Scout organization does background checks on all their leaders, and we're not going to background check children. So, the motion would need to waive both of those things if that's what you choose to do.
So,
Moved by David, second by Derek, all in favor? Right. Property cleanup, do we have?
I don't have any updates. I do know that a letter was sent to the property on 4th Street. Might have to wait for Lauren to get here to update.
On that, because
Yeah.
has anything happened on Denison, is that?
That one I don't know
Until-
because they had until today, I think. She said at the last meeting, didn't she? They had to respond. Hold on a second, let me just check real quick here. Yeah, they had until today to rectify the issue with the deed, and otherwise, so I don't know what the status is though, so I'll have to wait for her.
Okay. What about projects pending?
We were going to talk about the city, or I would like the council.
billboard side. I was a little confused, and Lila called me because she was confused as to what our intent or what we wanted her to advertise for the billboards. And I guess I kind of felt the same as what Lila is. Somebody's not going to go and design something to just say, here, this is what you should do. We should probably solicit bids for, people can bring us work that they've done, cost of what they would charge us to design it, and then we could go from there, as opposed to just, if you have ideas, bring them to us, because I don't know that we really...
My only thought on that was it wouldn't hurt to put something out like on Facebook. If there's something that you'd like to see on the sign, hey, I'd like to see whatever on that sign. And those things could be shared with then whoever you choose to hire to do. It just felt I didn't quite know how we were going forward with this.
Yeah, put it out there as somebody wanting to design. And designing the billboard,
Mhm.
and we.
And I think we could put it out there on Facebook if you have ideas of things you would
Do
like
you
to
do it as
see.
bids, or do you do it as?
I think as far as the actual work, because a designer's not going to want to just say, here's a great idea, I don't know if you're going to pay me
But what
or
if you
not."
like another person's?
What?
If you, I guess you pick it by the design you like, not just the cost, right?
You'd be hiring somebody to create the design for you, so I think it would be based on their previous work. You'd have to,
You'd have to look at, what they're...
they'd have to give you a portfolio. Here's some things I've done.
Okay.
That's my thought.
Here's my bid of what I would charge you to do it, and then we could go to them with, these are the things we'd like to see on the sign, design it for us. That's the way I think we should
All right.
handle it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Does that sound all right with you guys to go ahead and proceed that way?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Are you
That
good with
makes sense to me.
Like I said, we can put it out there, if you have ideas of things you would like to see or things you think we need on our sign, please let us know, but other than that, let's solicit bids to actually design it, and then we can give them those ideas of things we would like to see on it.
That seems to make sense to me.
Yeah, me too.
Other than that, is there anything? Anybody see anything else on?
Still nothing on the last meeting?
No, and I saw Michael Baxter, he was up at the courthouse, I saw him walking out the front doors one day, and I was like, I wish he would tell me when he's in town so I can touch base with him. So I will we're kind of waiting on getting those letters that, I know JR was looking to see if he could find any, and I think he's been back over here a handful of times digging and cannot actually find the response from the state. So,
But the files aren't very well organized, it didn't seem like, for that.
I told JR, I said, I know Mike's files. Go to the general file of that year and just start going through it, because that's...
What were they talking about? I don't know if it's the time, but they said there was people that were like drilling to check for things. Do you know what that is?
Right up by the entrance into the...
They had there was,
Assisted
it was on Facebook and stuff that they were wondering what was going on.
I have no, I just happened to...
They said that they were going to put, there was a comment back, something about that the county approved, since it was on their right-of-ways.
It was up there as you
Something
went
about
into...
drilling monitoring, or, I don't know what was going on. I didn't, that's why I was bringing it up.
It was right
What was
as
going
you
on, or
turned to
JR
go.
knew what was going on?
He
or-
does.
He does?
Yeah, because they called and asked him for permission to do whatever it is that they're doing and for permission to dump their dirt somewhere on city property. So I know he knows what's going on, and Jen probably even knows, but I can't remember what they said. It had to do maybe with well testing or something. I'm not sure,
Okay.
but
I saw the rig up there, but I wasn't sure what they were doing either.
Yeah,
if I find out something, I'll send an email out. I'll let me make myself a note.
Nothing else on projects pending. Street project, it looks like we have change order number 2.
And there are 4 copies of it there, so we need a motion to approve it, and then Amanda sign all 4 of them. That's the change order that was already, you guys already approved, you talked about, but we never had the paperwork
So
to
I
go
just need to
along
sign
with
it?
it. And I'm going to ask you to make another motion for her to sign those change orders.
I'll make a motion.
Moved by David, second by Dara, all in favor?
Just so that we have our bases covered.
Okay. Building permit. Nothing? Nothing from JR. I didn't even hear from him today. I thought maybe he would touch base, but
No,
he's on vacation.
he is on
Yes.
vacation.
And Lauren's not here, so clerk report.
Okay. So Jen thought maybe we should send something out in all of the utility bills, maybe a double-sided thing, one side having to do with the dog tags and the other side having to do with the ATV registration. Send that out to everybody in their bills as a reminder. So with that said, if the council wants us to do that, my question is, do you still want me to send the letters? You had asked to send letters to everybody who had registered their ATVs last year, to send that out.
I don't think you need to double it. If you're sending it to everybody, then I don't think you need to send it to the ones that...
They didn't. I was hoping you would say that.
Yeah.
That seemed like a duplication of effort. So Jen just thought that would be a really good idea to get it out there to everybody. With that said, if you look on the share, I created a couple of letters just for you to look at. We had talked about sending notices out to the court cases that we've had on dogs, the people that we know for a fact don't have their dogs tagged because they were in court for other things. I have 2 versions of that. The first one includes the coming to a council meeting to discuss the issue. I feel like that's probably for dog tags not necessary. A dog tag is just, you just need to come in and get your dog tag. There's really nothing to discuss about it. It's just you got to get your dog tag. So the second version of the letter is exactly like the first one, except it takes that out, and it just basically says, this is your only notice. We may file a complaint in the city court if you don't come in and get your dog tag.
Whose idea was it to have them come before us about that in the first place?
Lawrence. But she was talking about this and all the other ones. And the other ones I feel like maybe would be
Not
necessary.
just for a dog tag.
But not for dog
Because
tag.
there's no immediate, we wouldn't wait to not get into dog tag.
Right.
I mean, that would just open up a can of worms that we
A
don't
much
want to
bigger
open up.
fish to fry we have.
Yeah.
Okay. Taking that off. The third letter on there is one that you can look at. You don't even have to decide tonight if you want me to do it. We had talked about sending letters out for other things, like the unregistered ATVs or the unauthorized parking of recreation vehicles. This letter is kind of a generic one that we can add the different things too that you want me to send letters on. So I'm asking you just to take a look at it and see if that's what you had in mind. With each of them, let's say, for example, I'm sending this letter out for somebody who's got their RV parked on the street and needs to move it. I would mark that, and then on the back of it, I would, or as an additional enclosure, I would put the section of the code that has to do with whatever section it is that we're sending them this courtesy letter. Now, this one I do have in there coming to a council meeting if they want to talk about it. I felt like these are a little more involved than just a dog tag, and that might not be a bad idea. So, that's what that is. I don't know if you want to make a decision tonight or if you want to just look at it. They're out on the chair.
What do you think?
I think they're good. I think it's a good place to start to, like what
Did
we
you have
talked
a chance
about.
to look at them? Are there any that are pending that you want me to send out now with any of these things? Or just have it ready to go when you guys start identifying issues that need to be addressed?
I mentioned the only one pending would be the one motorhome that was talked about, and I know I talked to Libby last week, and that and the vehicles on the river, they were supposed to take care of those last week. So that would be the only one that, if they've taken care of it, I don't think we need to follow up, but other than that.
So if they've taken care of it, does that mean that they've written a ticket? Because I've gotten no tickets in municipal court.
They don't, I think that was Wednesday, I got information that they were trying to resolve the issue. At the end of the week, no. I don't know, I have to follow it up with them to see if they've, I thought all the three that we had talked about had already agreed been warned, so it came down to the next step would be a ticket, and if you would let me know, to get my approval prior to getting a tow truck to tow it. So, I thought it was going that direction, but I'll have to follow it.
So we don't want to send this letter at this
I
point
don't
in
think
time.
at this point, no, if they haven't made contact again, it might be okay, but if there's any initial warning contact, I think it's fine if we just need to follow through.
Okay, then I'll just set this aside, and does it look okay to you?
I would say, I guess I would put on your meetings are held the second and fourth Mondays of every month at 7 p.m. We usually require people to be on the agenda by Friday at 5, don't we?
Noon.
Noon. So,
But we let visitors know. I mean,
We do.
okay.
it would be encouragement, maybe, if you're going to put that on there, it'd be encouraged to contact people on the agenda, so we
Okay.
at least know what you think.
Sure.
Technically, they don't have to. We allow visitors, but
Yeah.
at least
Right.
you would know.
And then my other thing is, it says there will be no further notice given. I guess I would just say, if you fail to comply within the above stated time frame, the city may file a complaint. Because it says there will be no further notice. I mean, I know it means that, but people,
Okay.
I don't want people saying, you didn't say, so just say,
Well, that's what this says, for failure to comply.
right.
So that means that they don't do one of these two things.
I understand that, but given how,
I mean,
I agree and I understand it, and you understand it, but
Which letter are you?
I'm still looking at the ATV,
the third one.
the third one. I guess just if you maybe rewording it to failure to comply within the above stated time frame may result in the city filing a complaint to municipal court. I think if you reiterate failure to comply within the above stated time frame,
Okay.
just because,
Okay.
just because I think it is better to spell it out.
Okay.
Yes.
I will modify that. Okay. And I guess if there's any other, we can add other things to the list of whatever you guys are wanting the notices sent on. Okay. So nothing right now.
Not much, I wonder about chicken permits.
So the reminders on chicken permits will go out. Reminders on existing chicken permits, those are renewed in March. Apps.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, did your team not tie with my bench for the first half?
I know what. I like some other teams.
Against the bench.
I mean, that's just one, because what if we had somebody that, in the front door,
Yes.
have chickens, and they have not gotten one, that might
Mhm.
be something.
You want it on a letter, you want it on a letter like this then, or more like the dog tag one. Because that's like, you either license it or
Well, that
it's
means
not
you have
really
a-
up for debate.
Well, I guess you have a whole other letter to do.
Oh, it's so easy.
Sure.
Takes the dog tag one and takes
Okay.
the ordinance.
Yeah, it would be
Like chicken
super,
permit.
super simple to change this one and make a chicken one.
You do not have a tag for your chicken.
I can do that. All right, we'll make a
I mean, that would
chicken.
be, one off the top of my head, that we might have to, we've had that issue come up where we've had to contact people
Yes.
because that had chickens and not had a permit, so. Other than that, I think, do you want a motion to, or do you want to wait to add the additions that Lauren had, or do you want us to need a motion, or?
Probably do, if I'm going to be sending these out, it'd probably be a
I
good idea.
suggest that you make a motion, but you can approve them tonight as modified.
Or I can bring them in the next meeting, because we're not going to send them out right away, so. Let me just bring them in the next meeting, and then everybody can look at them. Yeah. I'll do that. Except for the dog one. I would like to send the dog one out. If you guys agree with that dog one, I'd like to get those sent out to those, if that's okay.
You're sending them just to one.
Just for the ones that came through court that we know didn't have their dogs registered, because we're fully aware that they have dogs, so we're fully aware that they're not registered, and they've already been in court. There's 3.
We have a motion to approve the
This is the one we're using for the dogs, so it'll be, okay.
Moved by Darrell, second by David, all in favor? Motion passed.
Actually, this is good because it has it like right there. It's one paragraph.
Well, what is this?
But
But the difference is, well, it is, except for this does not even have this in there, because it
Right.
doesn't make any...
Right, but there's a space in between, but this is one paragraph, but this is another. This is
Oh,
the
I
same
see.
paragraph.
I see what you're saying. But yeah, except for that doesn't even have that. You see what I'm saying? This doesn't even have this.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Okay. Ideal Linen, we have a contract with them to supply the rugs and stuff for the theater and for City Hall. It's up for renewal. The contract is a 3-year contract. It was 5 years, and I asked them to reduce it to 3, and they did. It looks like it's a marginal increase in cost. We've been very happy with the service that we get from them with our rugs. I can put it out for bid if you'd like me to. The only other one would be UniFirst. They supply our uniforms at the plant. They would be another one that could do it. I don't know, it's just rugs and
I don't know, we need to put it up for, I mean, we've used them.
for a long
years.
time.
Yeah.
We really like the guy that comes here. He's pleasant, he's polite, we really like him. He takes good care of us, so if that's okay, just need a motion to renew that.
Second. All in favor? All right, motion passed.
And the only other thing I have is that, just to let you know that we have received 4 applications for the assistant clerk job. I talked to Amanda this morning. We thought it would be best to wait until we have a full council to have an executive session for you all to look at those. But we do have 4 so far. That's all I have.
Any questions for Lila? Is that running again in paper, or is it stopped?
I think it's still running. I think I ran it through the end of the month. I'll double check on that. I think the mayor told me to run it to the end of the month, and then we'd see where we were at to decide if we needed to run it some more. Yeah.
Have a motion to approve the clerk report? Someone, by Derek? Second by David? All in favor? All right, let's get back up to attorney report.
I think we're going to slow down in municipal court. We haven't had any new citations since that dog issue on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And we got that on a diversion agreement, so municipal court's going to be thinning out, I think. Other than that, I don't think that I have anything. I will...
Any questions on property?
Yes,
The letter was sent to the one on East 4th.
the letter was sent to the one on East 4th. The letter was sent to the one on East 4th. I spoke with Justin Colwell in person regarding the one on, is that Denison? 616 South Denison, I think. He had until the end of the day today to get me a file-stamped copy of a corrective deed. And if it's not done, then it's going to court. So, is JR here? Is he just out of the meeting? Is he out of town?
He's out of town.
Okay. I will need, so I can't sign a complaint. Because I have to be able to also testify the person who sent the complaint. So, I don't know if you want to do what you were going to do at East 4th and take pictures and get them to me, and I'll get the complaint ready and you can sign it. Because I have to get him served. I have to get him served tomorrow or Wednesday to make municipal court on the 19th. Otherwise, it's going to go until February, I don't know what day. 1st, 2nd, so that would be the 16th. It's going to go until February 16th. If I don't get it served in the next 2 days. And I can't do it unless I have pictures, so I don't know if you would mind doing that.
Yeah.
At
The
some
last time I went by, it's getting worse.
worse rather than better, okay. So, yeah,
Yeah, move forward.
if you would take some pictures tomorrow and email them to me, take some pictures and email them to me, I will get a complaint ready, so that way I can get to the sheriff and have him served ASAP.
Very good. I think that was the only questions we had. Those are the only two really that are
I think so.
kind of practical.
Those are the only two that I know of. Everything else JR said was he was reluctant to say they were in compliance, but they were technically in compliance. So those are the only things I have. I will not be here. I will not be here at the next council meeting. I will be, if there's anything that I need to address, I will be available. I'll take a look on Friday beforehand, and I'll get it emailed out on Saturday, but I will be unavailable for that whole entire week. I'll be checking email occasionally, but not readily available.
Okay. Anything else? Any questions for them?
Sorry I was late for the RAM long. They moved it to 6:30 so that I could go first and get over here. And then 2 things popped up that weren't on the agenda that I had to be careful.
Of course.
So, yes.
We were lucky you came in when you did, otherwise we might have been.
Oh, you-
Yeah.
I was like, I was on the way back to us, like I said, I would be 10 minutes late, and of course, 15 extra minutes, including 10 minutes of executive session. So, yes.
Is there a motion to approve the attorney report? Moved by Dara, seconded by David. All in favor? All right. Council comments.
Wade Klein had approached Derek Ramos about the crushed aluminum cans at the recycling center, and that we have nowhere to go with them or to do with them. And so Derek wanted me to let the council know that he wasn't willing to buy them and get rid of them if we needed to. I don't know if this is even an issue, but his testimony was Waycon said that you guys at the recycling center need to find someone to buy the aluminum cans because you have nobody after they're crushed, and I'm willing to buy them if the city needs me to.
I think we need to have the JR.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that. I thought we,
I thought we're interested in aluminum, but they're not crushed either. We don't crush them, do we?
I don't know.
I don't think.
Yeah, we're going to put it to JR.
Yeah, I guess we can wait till.
Do you want me to, do you want to wait and talk to amongst ourselves and then see if there's even an issue and then maybe have them come talk to us, or?
I just tell him that JR's out of town on vacation and we'll have to wait till he's back to visit with him and then let him know. I mean, I don't know if it would be even, because I thought we were still sending them to,
Hutchinson.
Hutch, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know when we took our stuff from Christmas boxes up there, there was, Pharma said you used 12 stacks of them, but that may be normal. I don't know.
Because JR talked like there wasn't a lot of aluminum.
But if somebody's willing to buy it from us, I mean, it costs us to take it down to
Yeah, that's
Hutchinson.
right. I think it would be, it'd be worth looking into, but I think that would be a call for JR to make that decision.
Because we don't get anything from it,
No.
it costs us. So even if we,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I'd say let's check with JR and we can get back to him after JR gets back.
That's all I have.
I don't have anything.
We will review the bills on ordinance 1058.
I don't need to be here for that. Great. Usually leave. Okay.
I have a question for you that I can call you tomorrow.
You guys can. Is it about?
No, it's not.
Oh,
Something else.
okay. It's early enough. I mean, if you want to call me when you're done.
Okay.
I mean, as long as you're not here till like 10 o'clock at night.
No.
9:30 is my bedtime. So as long as it's before 9:30.
Yeah, I just had a quick question for you. I
Yeah.
want to catch you tonight, but if you want to go ahead and leave, then I'll just call you
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Sounds good.
All righty, have a good evening.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. That was a short meeting for me.
Yeah.
You sign vouchers, I sign checks. Are we good on?
Are they all signed?
Like that?
Are the checks all signed then?
They're all signed, yeah.
Very good.
I'm like, gee, like, the good thing about signing vouchers and or checks is you kind of look at it, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So is there a motion to approve the bills on? So, moved by Dara,
Second.
second by David, all in favor? All right. Motion to adjourn.
David.